Hi, I'm Deb, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Yoga Bites with Deb. Today we have a practice that kind of targets the back side of our body, so stretching out the soles of our feet, stretching out our hamstrings, strengthening the back in like a locust pose. So I hope you will join me in child's pose. Come into child's pose, perhaps with your toes together and your knees wider apart. You could either stack your fists and rest your forehead onto your fists, or if it's comfortable, lower your forehead to the mat, extending your arms out in front of you. And I just want us to connect with the breath, especially feeling the breath into the back side of our body. So you might feel your belly pressing into your thighs, and then start to feel the breath expand into the back. However, if you're having trouble connecting with that, you can try drawing your belly in as you take an inhale. And then you'll really get that sensation of breathing into the back of your body. Then we'll take a little side bend, slightly lift your head up. I'm going to walk my hands over to the right side. I'm going to leave my hips a bit more to the left, and I'm going to extend my left arm a little bit further, just to lengthen out that left side even more. And then just deeply breathe into the left side of the body. And then slowly, maybe staying nice and low, walking now over to the left side, pushing your hips a bit more to the right, extending that right arm maybe a little bit further. And then deeply connect with your breath. Walking it back to center. And then from here, we're going to curl our toes under. So really try and make sure your toes are all curled under here. And we're going to stretch the soles of our feet. And this can be really intense. You might already be feeling some intensity when you're down here in your extended child's pose. And if you're feeling a lot of intensity, stay here. Or you might come up onto your hands and bring your hands a little closer to your knees. And that might make it a little bit more intense, but still manageable. Some of you, belly's drawn in, you might bring your hands up onto your thighs and sit up a little higher. And again, if that's somewhere where you think you can hold and breathe, you can stay here. Some of you might be better at this than I am and be able to sit quite comfortably upright, shoulders over the hips. I cannot do that. I'm coming forward here, and I might eventually come right onto my fingers, depending on how I feel. So at any point, you can come out of this, or you could just lower to a little lower variation, whatever feels good. We're just going to focus on that breath, deep breathing, opening up the soles of our feet. And don't worry if this feels really hard or challenging. It is. But we walk around in shoes all day long. Some women or men, they also walk around in high heels. And you really need these stretches for the soles of the feet. So as much as it pains me to do this, it is an important posture. You do this a lot maybe in a yin yoga class. And we would hold this for about 3 minutes, which we're not going to do that long. Actually, we're going to start to come out of it now. So slowly walk those hands forward, coming more like onto your hands and knees position. Belly is gently in. Lift your feet up and maybe start to wind the ankles around and go the other direction. And then sometimes I just like to tap the tops of my feet down, get that circulation going, feels a little better. And then if you like, You could counter maybe just by coming into child's pose, or if it's available to you, sitting up onto your heels in hero's pose, or bringing your fingertips back, lean back, belly is in, and maybe even lifting the knees off the mat to counter stretch those ankles. And then release. Good. We're going to come up onto our hands and knees, curling the toes under, knees up, push back, downward facing dog. So lengthen the spine, bend one knee, straighten the other, and slowly switch. So we're just thinking spine here, back line of our body. So we stretched out the back, the soles of our feet. Let's find some length in our spine. So make sure you're not rounding, you're not hunching. Feel free to bend those knees. Get that length into your spine. Hug the elbows in. And from here, we're going to walk our hands backwards to meet our feet. And we're going to come into a little rag doll. So bend your knees as much as you need to lay your chest on your thighs. And some of you, it might be a deep bend, especially if this is a very first morning practice. You'll be a little tighter. So bend those knees as deep as you need to. Maybe fold your arms. Let that upper body dangle. And just release that back line. As your body opens up, you might start to straighten the legs a little bit, but again, I encourage you to keep your chest and thighs connected. Deeply breathe. But just let gravity pull the upper body down. And then we're going to release. We're going to walk those hands forward as we come back to downward facing dog. And again, knees can be bent. We're going to come into a lunge here. So you can do this from down dog, or if stepping forward with one leg isn't possible, lower onto your knees and step the leg forward. Otherwise, maybe you can lift the leg up and then step it forward between the hands and lower the knee down. And if you like, grab for your blocks and bring them up as high as you like. So we're going to root down and lengthen up. Inhale, so a little low lunge. And then exhale, you're going to straighten the leg and flex those toes up to the half split. So inhale, come forward, and exhale, come back. Next time you come back, we're going to hold in this half split, so toes point up. Right hip draws back, left hip draws forward, lengthen, tuck your chin in, or maybe come to a nice flat back. Really stretch out the back of your right leg here. And then we're going to come back to our lunge. So depending on where you're going to step forward from, if you're stepping forward from hands and knees, you're going to bring this knee back and come to hands and knees. If you're stepping forward from downward dog, curl the back toe under, knee up, and step back into down dog. So your choice. And then lifting that left leg up, step it forward, or if you're on your hands and knees, just swing that leg forward. Come into your lunge, making sure front knee doesn't go past your toes, and maybe grabbing for your blocks. You can obviously do this on your fingertips. Inhale forward and exhale back. A little bit easier, especially if you have little short arms like I do. Exhale back, or you feel like you have short arms. Inhale forward, exhale back. One more time. And as we come back, we're going to hold. This time we're thinking right hip forward, left hip back, so our hips are squared off. And then you might stay upright, tuck your chin in, or come to more of a flat back. And that might feel like a bigger stretch for your hamstrings. Lengthening up, come back to our lunge. Bring the blocks off to the side. This time we're going to step back into plank. Curl, you can come right to plank on the knees, or curl the back toe under, lift the knee up, and step into plank. Strengthening whole body, pelvic floor, belly in, dropping to our knees, hugging the elbows in, lowering down. Roll the shoulders back, let the arms hover. Baby cobra, inhale up, exhale down. One more. Then we're going to take our hands by our sides, press the palms into the mat, rest your head for now. Belly's in, lift the left leg up, half locust. Lower that leg down. Lift the right leg up. Lower that leg down. Press those palms into the mat, bellies in, lift both legs. And if you like, lift the chest too. So strengthening backside. Lower down. We're going to press back into our child's pose briefly. And then we're going to end with a spinal twist. So I'm going to roll onto my back. And you're welcome to do any twist that you like. So some of you might just like to keep your knees together and twist to one side. You might hug one knee in and twist. Or my favorite is I'm going to cross my right knee on top of my left. I'm going to draw my belly in, just shift my hips over to the right, and then I'm going to allow the knees to drop to the left. Chest shines up towards the ceiling, maybe turn my head to the right. Turn your head up, bring your knees up, uncross. Other side, left knee on top of the right if you're doing this same twist as I am. Shift the hips to the left, drop the knees to the right, and maybe turn your head to the left. Just release any tension from the spine. Bring the head back up, bring the knees back up, uncross, and then maybe just hug those knees in and whatever feels good. You might make yourself into a little ball. You might circle those knees around. Anything you like. And that was our yoga bite for today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you've enjoyed the practice. Have yourself a great day.